Hey guys, reporters should ask Democrats in Congress why are they not passing the Save Act. Check this clip out. You won't believe it.
Okay, what's the racial breakdown on this, right? Because I think a lot of people make the argument that people of color, non-white Americans, have a harder time procuring a photo ID to vote. But even here, take a look here. Favorite photo ID to vote. 85% of white people favor it. 82% of Latino. 76% of black Americans favor it. So the bottom line is this. Voter ID is not controversial in this country. A photo ID to vote is not controversial in this country. It is not controversial by party, and it is not controversial by race. The vast majority of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj that, in fact, you should have a photo ID to be able to vote. Okay, what?
Look at that. You should have a photo ID to vote. Isn't that crazy, guys?
Do here is the same thing that was done in the South for decades to prevent people of color from voting.
See, this is where my righteous anger pop up because I know what he's saying is a lie. I live in the South. I've been living in the South my whole life on the Gulf Coast. I go to vote every single time there's an election. And guess what? I show my ID. I write my signature. They check to make sure who I am. I go vote. No problems. Nobody asking me any questions. Nobody making me count the jelly beans in the jar. And quit lumping us in the people of color category. We're Black Americans.
Now more than ever, we're short of workers. We have a population that is not reproducing it on its own with the same level that it used to. The only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers, and all of them, because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented there are here.
This is John Thune right here. This is majority leader for the Republican Party. He says, I am intentionally running out the clock until the midterms. Wow. Why is he doing that? Unless he's cheating as well? Unless he's cheating everywhere going on? The Save America Act is common sense and is very popular in with American people. But yet, it hasn't passed yet. It has to be something going on here, guys. Also, here's another one here. It says here, in 1996, the voter ID is common sense. All of a sudden, 30 years later, we have voter ID is Jim Crow 2.0. Something doesn't make sense there.
This is an anti-fraud amendment. All over where we go, people say, well, why can't you stop illegal immigrants or others from coming here? And the number one answer we give our constituents is when they come here, they can get jobs, get benefits against the law because of fraud. And here, the gentleman from Florida has put together the most effective anti-fraud measure we can find without it changing the actions of the government one bit. And we find all this opposition. Ladies and gentlemen of this chamber, what I worry about is that this bill, which started out with good intentions, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, is going to end up being the same kind of thing that the public gets angry with us on. We say we're doing something, and we do nothing. Because every time someone makes a rational and small proposal to get something done, people say, well, what about this hypothetical, that hypothetical, etc. I urge support of this amendment. If you believe you want to stop fraud in immigration, you have no choice but to support this amendment.
Gentleman's time has expired.
About 83% of the American people, including majority Democrats, support voter ID laws.
Well, yeah, the voter ID laws that, first, each state can have its own voter ID laws, and some do and some don't. But secondly, what they are proposing in this so-called SAVE Act is like Jim Crow 2.0. They make it so hard to get any kind of voter ID that more than 20 million legitimate people, mainly poorer people and people of color, will not be able to vote under this law. We will not let it pass in the Senate. We are fighting it tooth and nail. It's an outrageous proposal that is, that shows the sort of political bias of the MAGA right. They don't want poor people to vote. They don't want people of color to vote because they often don't vote for them.
Look at this right here, guys. It says John Thune is the failed Senate leader. Save Act failed. And blue slips failed. Failed agenda. Failed Senate leadership. He's running the clock out, guys. Why? Why is he doing it? Hey guys, here's another one. Look at this one here. When is valid ID required? When is valid ID required? Boarding a plane, cashing a check, purchasing tobacco, purchasing alcohol, hunting or fishing license, purchasing medicine, marriage license. When is a voter ID not required? Voting in federal elections. That is crazy. We have states that still do that today. Look at that. It says pass the Save Act now. It's called Save America Act. Look at that. Thumbs up, guys. Let's pass it. Let's get it done. We need to get it done. It says State Harris 1 versus ID requirement. As you see there, all the states that Kamala Harris won in the last presidential election, they had no voter ID. That is strange, isn't it? No voter ID. Just put that in mind there. Pass the Save America Act. It's that simple, guys. Even the dogs say, pass the Save America Act. This is what they want you to believe. The White House propaganda machine. Catherine Levitt, the White House press propagandist. This is what they want you to believe. The reality is they don't want the Save America Act to be passed. Okay, guys, take a look at this. It says Somali's elections are more secure than ours because of these two American last rhino pieces of, you can see it right there. They have it there as the modern day Benedict Arnold betraying his country and protecting elite donors. You think it's the donors why he's doing this, guys? Elite donors, lobbyists and stuff. They want the games to continue to cheat. Let's take a look at this one. Do you believe Democrats oppose the Save Act because they cheat in every election? Yes or no? It makes you think. Makes you think, doesn't it? Take a look at this right here. It says pass the Save Act or pat your S. Sincerely, 85% of American people. That's the look you have when you think CNN just said something that was true. So, hey guys, if you like this clip, hope you hit the subscribe button. I'm Mike, and you're watching For Real with Mike. Thanks for watching.